justification for NATO military involvement. That's pure terrorism. Carrying out the attacks and then using them for political point scoring. And listen to this. This is another tweet from Ambassador Rice. The longer Assad clings to power, the greater the risk of destabilization in Syria and throughout the region. So she's basically threatening more destabilization. She's basically saying, yeah, you're going to get bombed some more. Hope you enjoy it. And it's just brazen terrorism. She's claiming that these bombings make it, you know, grease the skids even more for a NATO military assault, and it's the NATO-backed terrorists who are behind the bombings. But not if you're the Guardian, when it's all a false flag, wild conspiracy theory, which is how they normally characterise false flags. But because anonymous, dubious Twitter users are saying it, you know, it's the height of credibility. Normal rules do not apply. Moving on Infowars Nightly News, group that admitted manufacturing global warming threat still pushes same hoax. PrisonPlanet.com story. And basically, our old friends in the global warming alarmist movement are up to their old tricks once again. The secretive Club of Rome has issued a report entitled 2052, a global forecast for the next 40 years, which decries improving living standards in developing countries and warns that man-made climate change could eventually kill off humans entirely. So who is the Club of Rome? Well, it's similar to the Bilderberg Group. It's a collection of power brokers. They don't meet very often like Bilderberg do annually, but they put out reports like this one, warning us that if we don't pay carbon taxes to Al Gore and Marie Strong, both Club of Rome members, that, you know, the sky's going to fall in. Global warming is going to wipe out humanity. And why it's rich, and I mean, this, of course, this is what the mainstream media has failed to report and point out in each one of these articles about this new Club of Rome report. Basically, they're calling for a new system of governance, global governance, enforcing eco-fascism on the back of fears about rising temperatures. But this is the very same group, the same organisation who in their 1990 report, The First Global Revolution, openly admitted that they had manufactured the idea, the quote idea, to use global warming as a means of creating this fake outside threat of eco-apocalypse. And this is the direct quote from the report, which you can read in the article. Quote, in searching for a common enemy against whom we could unite, we came up with the idea that pollution, the threat of global warming, water shortages, famine and the like, would fit the bill. All these dangers are caused by human intervention. The real enemy, then, is humanity itself. And this passage appears under a subheadline entitled, quote, the common enemy of humanity is man. So basically, that's them admitting that they manufactured this phony threat to make mankind the enemy, and now they're going to punish mankind by enforcing this draconian global government in the name of saving the planet. So again, you know, even as the science discredits the global warming alarmists, just as it discredited the Paul Ehrlichs and John P. Holdrens of the world when they were fear-mongering about a deadly new ice age back in the 70s, the modern-day climate change alarmists are being discredited once again by the very science. You know, polar bear populations exploding, emperor penguins exploding, ice sheets thickening, Bering Sea ice thickening, Himalayas ice thickening. The temperature is in fact getting colder, and they're once again fear-mongering about rising temperatures requiring the need for a new global government and a carbon tax, when they were the ones who admittedly said, we're going to create this fake scare and blame it on humanity to get this power. So, you know, just pay your carbon tax to Al Gore and Marie Strong and everything will be okay. They'll save the world. Farage, we face the prospect of mass civil unrest in Europe. PrisonPlanet.com story once again. MEP and UKIP leader Nigel Farage, who of course is a regular Alex Jones Show guest, gave a stirring speech yesterday in front of the EU Parliament, during which he warned of mass civil unrest in Europe while vocally denouncing the very EU policies which are causing that unrest. And we've got the clip of the speech, so let's roll the clip.
But like communism, this has all gone badly wrong. And the EU Titanic has now hit the iceberg. It is a European Union of economic failure, of mass unemployment, of low growth, but worst of all, it's an EU with the economic prism of the euro. We cannot do it if we're asked to rally behind that flag. I owe no allegiance to that flag, and nor do most of the people in Europe either.
And Farage is by no means alone in warning of this massive civil dislocation in Europe as a result of this euro crisis, which of course, as we know, in recent days has deepened because of the promises by the new Greek radical left leader who's attempting to form this anti-bailout coalition, so it's all heading south once again. But do we remember the report about the British government warning their embassies in Europe to prepare for the safe evacuation of British expats in the aftermath of a euro currency collapse? Remember that report in the Telegraph? They were talking about people not being able to withdraw cash, no access to bank accounts if the single currency collapsed. We also had the top US military commander, General Martin Dempsey, back in December, saying he was concerned that the United States could be exposed to the collapse of the Eurozone as well, quote, because of the potential for civil unrest and breakup of the Union. And this is all coming to the fore once again in recent days. So basically, because these Eurocrats are desperate to cling on to their pet project, which is the Euro single currency, which of course was hatched by the Bilderberg Group, which itself created the EU back in 1955, decades before it was officially proposed in the Maastricht Treaty, because they would rather see chaos and bloodshed on the streets of Europe than allow this kind of orderly collapse of the Eurozone. They're only creating the toxic environment for a more disorderly collapse at some later date. And just another fantastic stirring speech by Nigel Farage of UKIP, who is one of the very few MEPs taking on the authoritarian, dictatorial European Union. Scientific ghost city to test future technology. This is out of Yahoo News. The world's first $1 billion scientific ghost city will be built in New Mexico to test the latest next-generation technology. Researchers will use the facility at Lake County near Hobbs to look at everything from intelligent traffic systems and next-generation wireless networks to automatic washing machines and self-flushing toilets. How very convenient. No one will live there, although they're going to be houses with all the necessities like appliances and plumbing. So basically, they're building this huge $1 billion clandestine city where the appliances and infrastructure will be tested behind closed doors. And of course, this is the place where the Internet of Things, hailed by CIA Chief David Petraeus as the new great dawn of surveillance, this is where all these little appliances for clandestine statecraft are going to be tested. This is where the IntelliStreet light poles that also have Homeland Security applications are going to be honed to spy on your conversations as they bragged they could as you walk down the street. So basically, it's all about beta testing Big Brother in this $1 billion secret ghost scientific city. Next story on Infowars Nightly News. Soylent Pepsi is people. It's considered business as usual. The Obama administration has ruled there is nothing wrong with using aborted human fetus tissue to flavour Pepsi. Dead babies for profit were also recently discovered by customs officials in China, where corrupt medical staff are said to be tipping off medical companies when babies are aborted or delivered stillborn, according to the Daily Mail. So, I mean, did we really need another reason not to drink Pepsi? I mean, why on earth is anyone with half a brain still drinking Pepsi or any kind of soda when it's laden with aspartame, which we know from the studies done on rats, has the carcinogens which increase the risk of cancer? So, if you're still drinking Pepsi in the knowledge that it contains human baby tissue, then I'm sorry, but you deserve everything that aspartame has to offer. Remember the story a few weeks ago, the woman who died from drinking soda, 10 litres of Coke a day. So I guess this is just like the zombie equivalent of brains to some people. I mean, they have to guzzle the aspartame. It's very nutritious for them. So, if you're stupid enough to play in traffic, then you deserve to get run down. The information is freely available that not only is soda and Pepsi and Coke laden with this carcinogen, but now It also contains the nutritious aborted baby tissue. Yum yum. Glug away. So now we're going to go on to our quote of the day on Infowars Nightly News from 17th century French political historian Alex de Tocqueville. And he said this, quote, "Democracy and socialism have nothing in common but one word, equality. But notice the difference. While democracy seeks equality in liberty, socialism seeks equality in restraint and servitude." But, you know, apparently with Obama and Biden, we're going forward. We're going forward into a brave new Marxist world. And if you don't like the brand of socialism that they've got to offer, then we've got another 4 years of Trotskyite conservatives as the alternative. What a choice that is, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, forward together with Obama and Biden. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Infowars Nightly News. I would again urge you to subscribe at prisonplanet.tv. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, prisonplanet.tv is where Infowars Nightly News is streamed live, along with all the other exclusive multimedia content. So that's going to wrap it up for today. I've been your host, Paul Joseph Watson, and we'll see you on the next edition of Infowars Nightly News.
Have you been to InfoWarsShop.com lately? Express your inner patriot with these brand new Infowars t-shirts. Say it loud with the Infowars Bullhorn shirt, or educate the sheeple with the Bill of Rights shirt. Grope the public's mind with the TSA shirt. And with this shirt, you can let the dark side know of the Rebel Alliance's power. All available at InfoWarsShop.com.
Sick of the globalist eugenicist control freaks adding poison to your water and laughing as you get sick and die? Start purifying your water with ProPure. My friends, I've done a lot of research, and the best gravity filter out there, bar none, is ProPure, and it's available discounted at Infowars.com. Its filters are silver impregnated to prevent bacterial growth. There's no priming required. It's NSF 42 certified. Optional fluoride filters can reduce fluoride up to 95%. Easy to set up and use. Doesn't require electricity. Purify water from lakes, streams, ponds, and wells. This filter system leaves in beneficial minerals, which is key. Save money by not buying bottled water and avoid BPA that leaches from the plastic. ProPure is the best gravity-fed filter out there. It's what my family uses. Infowars.com already has the lowest price on ProPure, but if you add the promo code WATER at checkout, you get an additional 10% off at Infowars.com. You can also call to order 888-253-3139.
Welcome back to the Infowars Nightly News. I'm your host, Rob Dew. I'd like to thank Paul Joseph Watson for covering the news portion, and Alex Jones for also sending in that report on Kelly Thomas. Right next to me now, I have Patrick Henningsen, who's a writer and contributor to Infowars.com, and we're about to release a special report that he produced. It's called Open Borders Special Report on Fast and Furious. And with that, Patrick, how you doing?
I'm good, Rob. Thank you very much.
So tell us about this report. Who did you interview? What kind of information did you uncover? You were letting me in on some stuff behind the scenes, but it sounds very interesting.
Yeah, originally I entered this through the Sheriff Joe Arpaio's investigation of Obama's documents, birth documents, and Social Security number. And when we did that report with Rob Jacobson, when Rob came down, I met a number of people connected with the government here. And I was originally looking at doing a story on SB 1070, which is the federal lawsuit that DOJ has slapped on the state of Arizona for enforcing its own immigration laws. And through this story that I did on SB 1070, I learned that there are quite a few people in the government here that have intimate knowledge of Operation Fast and Furious. And so that kind of grew out of that. And I met a congressman who is Carl Seals, very helpful and very generous with his time. And also he then referred me on to the ranking senator in the state legislature and another senator as well. And they kind of told me the inside scoop on Fast and Furious, and I recorded some interviews with them. And also I spoke to owner of a gun shop that's at the center of the Fast and Furious investigation. I'm not going to say his name, but anybody following this story probably knows who I'm talking about. But he wasn't able to speak